Hey guys, I wanted to issue a formal apology for my beard fans. Don't worry, it'll be back. Sometimes we just need to let it breathe, and then I'm gonna get it ready for the winter, and then it'll just be nice and ready for the winter. Shout out to my Brooklyn Tech people also. Figured I'd pull that out of the closet. So today, I wanted to talk about a major concept, nutrition, hence I'm in my kitchen here. I'm actually doing an podcast episode, with my buddy David Corona, no relation to the virus. We've put out a few episodes so far. Demand better from your personal trainer, demand better from your physical therapist, and our next episode is demand better from your nutritionist. So we're gonna focus on the difference between registered dietitians, nutritionists, and where else you might be getting nutritional advice from. So if you're watching this video, hopefully you've come to trust me a little bit and you're ready to and willing to at least listen to what I'm talking about. I'm gonna throw out a few things that I think keep ruminating. I keep getting these questions. I would put this into my segment of what the fact, as in frequently asked questions, but here we are talking about food. Every single time you drink something, you put something in your body, food, drink, anything like that, a little black coffee, you are either improving your health or you are making your health worse. These might be on very small grades, but it all adds up, right? Let's say we have 21 meals a week, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. One of my conversations when I look at people's food logs, and I'm starting to work with people on food, is can we at least get to 11 meals that are good and 10 that are less good? And we can have that conversation of what's good and what's not good. In getting ready for this episode with Corona, we're talking about risk and reward, okay? And we're not gonna cover these so much in that episode, but that's where I wanted to kind of dance around it, kind of create a little supplement, ironically, for that episode. So risk reward every time you eat something, okay? And I'm gonna go through the other big concept I talk about is quantity and quality. So when it comes to quantity, calories in, calories out is the common thing that we cannot run away from. This is why some very, very, very oversimplified diets say just eat 1,200 calories a day and you will lose weight, because most of us burn more than 1,200 calories a day. So it's a very simple, oversimplified concept where we're not factoring in other aspects. People ask me about intermittent fasting. It's something I incorporate into my week. I do one 17-hour fast a week. The basic premise there is you're slowing down or minimizing the calories and the window you can take in food. So quantity is something worth considering. And then quality is the other component where, again, if you care about your health, if you care about, and it's a difficult journey and it's hard to demonize foods. And again, we've had this in the last 20, 30 years of eggs are good, eggs are bad. Fat is good, fat is bad. And then, there's good fat and there's bad fat. And we go down these kind of rabbit holes and it really affects, and we tend to swing too far in directions and we see negative results from that. So at the end of the day, I have my risk reward concept of, again, every time you're eating a food, again, think of when I have a drink of alcohol, at the end of the day, I'm looking at, I realize there's some negative physiological effects happening from this alcohol. However, it might be worth the risk in terms of it. I know it kind of brings me joy and I'm a little stressed out and this is my medicine that I need to do. So those are the debates, but again, that can also get into gray areas. So risk reward is a big concept we'll do other videos on. Quantity quality is another part of this that we're going to. So I wanted to bring it all to this concept, these top 3 methods of diet that I work with folks on, and you should have somebody guide you on. And that's my spoiler alert for the demand better from your nutritionist. Is it doesn't matter to me what the education is from whoever you're working with around nutrition. If it's a personal trainer, if it's somebody who has certifications, if it is a registered dietitian, a clinical nutritionist, a medical doctor, anything like that. The end of the day, we want to make sure that you have somebody who's guiding you. You're not just doing this nilly-willy. You're not just kind of seeing what works, but you are seeing what works, but you want to have a guide or at least your own understanding and being empowered about hey, what am I actually tracking? Are we looking at blood work? Are we looking at how I look, feel, and perform? But if you don't have some way to track that, right, and you're kind of like, I eat generally healthy, I did this 30-day Whole30 challenge or whatever, and I felt better, but then there's no long-term sustainability to that. You didn't learn any lessons from that. You didn't carry over any of the things from those 30 days. It becomes very difficult to bounce in and out of that. And that's where we have a lack of success. And that's where we still have a very diseased, unhealthy population. And again, I think he's gonna watch this. He's someone who watches a lot of my videos. Somebody who has recently had bouts with cancer, and I see him posting food pictures, and it's difficult to start that conversation. But it is an inspiration for me of why I do these videos of, hey, we want to minimize your cancer risk. And I have seen research, and to me, if I'm in that situation and you're somebody I care about, I think, and it becomes tricky to push my beliefs on you. However, at the very least, can we try to eliminate some things that might be adding to your disease, basically? And because I care, I want you to have a better quality of life. And you're over here and you contact me about, oh, hey, like, do you have somebody who works well with lymphedema drainage or whatever? I don't mind giving you those things, but why don't we try to work to prevent it with these meals? And again, the meal you sent me looks phenomenal. All you need to do is cut the bread out of there, and I think we're gonna be a lot better off in terms of our overall health. And especially when that risk now is a lot higher when you have that C word in that conversation. So I'm gonna go through the 3 things I really want you to, I started to, and I apologize, I did my little tangent, but 3 things that I really want you to think about. Number 1, paleo, the concept of paleo. This has a lot of stuff around it, and basically all I'm saying is, and this is the really simple, as Rob Wolf would say, sleazy car salesman spiel around it is, try to eliminate these 3 main food groups that we believe are irritants to most humans, and see how you look, feel, and perform. Try to do that for a minimum of 21 days, 30 days if possible. Those 3 food groups are grains, legumes, and dairy. So the grains, basically the big part of that I think is gluten. So, I like to interchange it. And the one thing I'll say in there is I'm okay with white rice. White rice might spike your blood sugar, but depending on where you are in the health spectrum, again, you should have some guidance if you're going through this. But grains, legumes, dairy, eliminate them, and then have a plan to reintroduce one by one. And then you start to see, hey, oh yeah, I cleaned out my system, I had a reset, and then I reintroduced dairy on day 31. I had, whatever cheese that I normally wouldn't have, and I felt phlegmy. I felt a little more congested. I felt some inflammation in my joints, depending on how much you have and depending on how sensitive you are. We don't realize how sick we are or how unhealthy we are until we really do these experiments. And that's my big thing is N equals 1 in research talk. N equals 50 means we did a study on 50 people. N equals 1 means we're doing a study on the 1 person. So that's you. So that's where we want to do this. The second one I'm going to push here. So paleo is number 1. Number 2 is the 800-gram fruit and vegetable challenge. Check out Optimize Me Nutrition, E.C. Sinkowski. She did a TEDx talk on this. Basically, 800 grams every day has been shown to improve your overall health. It's a pretty simple concept. If you're eating that many fruits and vegetables, we don't need to argue about red meat. We don't need to argue about all this other stuff, because at the end of the day, I think in the health and fitness space, again, we tend to agree on over 90% of stuff, but we like to argue about the last 5-10%. 800 grams of fruits and vegetables should begin to improve your health. If you do that, you're going to feel fuller. You can improve the quality. You can play around with organic, all these different concepts. But if you start to focus in, and it's a simple-ish concept, and you can just track your, have a little pen and paper, and you just track what you do. Cool, I had an apple, and you weigh it, and you subtract the core at the end of it. So you call that whatever, 50 grams, and you need to do, either you can do 16 apples a day, or you can mix in, obviously, different fruits and vegetables. So that's the second concept I'd like for us to throw out there. And again, if you're interested in trying any of these 3, I suggest you either reach out to me directly or someone else who can guide you through, so you have the rules around that, and B, the concept of how do we make sure this is long lasting. Because that's really, again, when you do a diet, right? When you're changing or you're playing with these nutritional concepts, the bigger thing is that it's sustainable forever for the rest of your life. So if you're doing something very restrictive, like the Whole30, which is a great concept, but on day 31, I know a lot of people who just go back to nothing that they were doing in those 30 days, and it kind of, I would say you're losing all that momentum. So anyway, 800 gram fruit and vegetable challenge. And the third one we're going to talk about one more time. One is paleo, eliminate grains, legumes, dairy. 2 is 800 grams of fruit and vegetables. And the third one here, I'm going to say, and again, we don't need to do all of these all at once. We got to see where you are. We got to put in whatever fits best for you, whatever feels like, oh, I can do that. I like fruits and vegetables. I'm going to do that. Or I'm okay eliminating these things and figuring out how to do that. So the third one is a focus on protein, okay? So again, a lot of my work is about longevity, is about having a 30-year plan, right? My little catchphrase is, I can help you feel and move better in 30 minutes. We're gonna put a plan in place for the next 30 days, and that's gonna take us into the next 30 years. Protein is a huge part of that. I would say most folks under-eat protein. If you're not measuring it, it's hard to know whether or not you are. As an example, one egg is 6 grams of protein usually. You can obviously, measure that a little bit better, more carefully, whatever, but 6 grams. So you would need to eat a lot of eggs if you're just focusing on that to figure out how many you need for your day, for you again, personally. So I weigh 192 pounds. I'm a pretty active guy. If I'm not getting over 150 grams of protein, or 140, let's say, to make the math a little easier, I might be selling myself short, and I might be allowing the aging process to be a little faster. Again, this comes back to quantity, quality, risk, reward, all these different concepts. But the general consensus for protein is, I'm not gonna say general consensus, again, we can have this debate if you want. And again, for you, it should be personalized, but 0.7 grams per pound of body weight, that's why I said 140 minimum for my 192 pound body. That's a good place to aim. Okay, we might need to aim a little lower, we might need to aim a little higher depending on different factors. If I'm trying to lose a little weight, I'm okay to lose a little bit of muscle right now, that's fine. I want to also maximize my muscle for long term. I'm turning 30 in a few weeks. So I want to make sure I'm maximizing my long-term investment in muscle. Muscle is the organ of longevity. I think I actually have it up here if you can read that in green. And again, shout out to Dr. Gabrielle Lyon on that one. Huge fan of her work and everything she's pushing. And again, at the end of the day, muscle is a big thing. And if you don't have enough protein, your body is aging a little bit faster. It's not recovering the way it should. It's not able to do the processes, amino acids, or the building blocks of a lot of the cellular functions that we need to do. So without going too far down that rabbit hole, protein, especially if you're active, is a phenomenal thing to focus on. And just forget everything else. Again, one of these 3 approaches, protein can be the one thing, fruits and vegetables can be another thing, and again, that paleo concept can be the first, third, whichever thing. And again, if you like any of these 3, you want to try them out, you want to talk about it, shoot me a message. I should have contact details somewhere. If not, comment below and we'll get connected. There's never a lack of opportunity to talk. So hope you guys got something out of this. If you disagree, I'd love to argue. I love arguing. It's my favorite thing. I'm a New Yorker, so I'm all for engaging in a conversation at the end of the day. So again, if you do have any thoughts on any of these concepts, I'd love to, again, engage in that conversation. I think Lexi's about to go a little crazy. She says this video is getting too long. So here we go. Get 1% better. Talk to you soon.